This is an expat alert because America has been in utter chaos. I mean, just since January, we all know it's not even the end of the month fully yet, but we've already seen President Donald Trump and the U.S. military capture the Venezuelan president. We have seen President Trump also take a Russian oil tanker, and as of just today, a couple of hours ago, if you are unaware, Greenland is totally in the dark. Now, is this a coincidence? Is this some sort of irony, or is something deeper and darker happening across the world? Now, if you're watching this, I know that you're feeling like, man, I've got to get out of America, or man, I don't feel safe here in South Africa, Tanzania, Venezuela. I want to differentiate from being in Brazil. I want to go somewhere different for right now because this stuff just doesn't feel stable. You know, so many clients and friends have come to us just in the past 6 months because even the African continent has changed a lot as well, which is why we have the State of the Diaspora. You can check out the recording at the link below. If you missed the live, it's $112. Now, the African countries on the continent are not all the same. There's 54 different countries, just like in Latin America, South America. You know that there's only a couple of countries that you would realistically live in. Maybe in Uruguay, Paraguay, or Panama. Those are about the only 3 that are really safe. Maybe Colombia as well. You know not to live in Venezuela. You don't feel safe necessarily in Mexico. You probably don't really align with Argentina that much for very clear reasons. So you know not to go to literally every country in Latin America. Same with the Caribbean. Now, Africa is the exact same way. In the last 6 months, we have gotten calls, texts, emails, clients telling us they are leaving South Africa specifically and Tanzania because they're too difficult for them. Now, these countries typically have 1 or 2 year residences, lots of corruption, lots of bribery, some darker systems at play that you may not want to deal with in World War III.
Yeah, that's good. And I like how you kind of said this word twice. If you guys have not caught it, she said safe, right? She said it twice. I thought she was going to say it 3 times. I'm like, ooh, yeah, but safe is the
Safety.
Word that you really need to consider. You gotta go to safety because things are just heating up in the world. You know, the American passport is starting to decline, and people are starting to look at Americans in these other countries a certain way, and they're actually, you know, you can just feel it. We had an email. Someone said that I believe they were in Ethiopia or something. And they said no, it was Uganda.
Uganda.
And they started treating them different when Trump started to do the tariffs and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it was just like, dang, like that's a little different right there. So you want to choose the right country. So in this video, make sure you like the video. Leave your comments below. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But we are going to break down our top countries that we believe you guys, us, will go to and thrive and be safe, and of course least corrupt. Of course, you know, residencies, long-term residency, because that's the name of the game. You don't have to go somewhere and be a citizen. You don't have to give up your citizenship, but where can you get residency in a system is a easy path to go to. So
right,
stay tuned.
That's key because so many countries on the African continent, some in South America as well, they'll do digital nomad visas, but they only last a year or 2. Now, on the African continent, they may want you to pay $100K, put it in the bank, $150K, $200K, just for 1 or 2 years. And I quite frankly, I think that is outrageous. I'll just be honest with you. I think it's a little bit over the top because when we look at other systems in the world, Eastern Europe, you're going to see $1,500. In Colombia, $1,500. Brazil, $1,500. Other countries like Thailand, 1,500 to 2,000 per month for just one person. They can get a retirement visa in Thailand. They last an extremely long time with only 16K in savings. And so when you look at the African continent, your question needs to be, why is the corruption and the pricing like this? And so if you are someone that actually values your dollar, you don't want to throw it down the drain, flush it down the toilet, and then have to leave every 90 days. You want to know about these countries for a surety. Now, number one is actually a split between two countries. It used to be Ghana, but expats are choosing these two countries instead. They're choosing Kenya and Madagascar. See, Kenya has sort of replaced Ghana because Ghana has gotten a little bit of a bad rep because of some of the violence, some of the danger, the scamming, a lot of the things that they have going on in Ghana, and they just had a new presidential change. And so a lot of expats are like, hey, I'm trying to leave Ghana. I'm kind of tired of being here. It's not really working out the way I had imagined. The prices are crazy in Accra. You know, if you compare this with like a Philippines, a Seychelles, a Mauritius, a Botswana, a Kenya, it's just kind of not working out, okay? But thankfully there are other countries in the world. So Kenya now takes that spot. Next we have Madagascar. Madagascar is in the Mascarene Island region, and it's a country people typically forget about. But Madagascar has arable land. It's a beautiful landscape. And in a little place, a little island that's on Madagascar, the country, but is a little bit separate from the mainland, there is an expat haven called Nosy Be. This is where all the expats go because it's a friendly beach vibe. It's easy to live there because they expect expats in the area, and they go through the process with the Madagascar Development Board.
Yeah, that's good. And I want to say this about Madagascar. Remember, I guess we can say 6 years ago now, Madagascar was one of those countries that was open. You know, that's why we chose Tanzania, because it was open 6 years ago.
That's true.
Madagascar also was open. They were testing certain fruits and animals, and
epic time.
You know, yeah, like we really lived through that, y'all. But
epic time.
Madagascar is a choice. You know, you definitely can go there and get residency. You can buy land, and you can like really build your business. And I'll say, for what comes to my mind when I'm thinking about Madagascar, I'm thinking about farming. So if that's up your alley, farming might be a good place when you're thinking about Madagascar.
Sure. Now, I do have to have a little disclaimer. Madagascar is not on the least corrupt list. Neither is Kenya. So you want to just be aware of that. Now, the next countries we're talking about are actually on the least corrupt African countries list. Some of these are also at the very top for things like cleanliness, ease to do business, and most stable countries in Africa as of 2025. So let's go to number 3.
I'll say peaceful too.
You
can't leave that out.
Botswana. Botswana is great because it's visa-free for Americans still. Now, their counterpart Namibia is no longer completely visa-free for Americans. So there's this short window of time where it's like, hey, if you were traveling or moving to Botswana, you can really transition there pretty simply because it's visa-free for 3 to 6 months for Americans. Now, that's not the only country in Africa that's visa-free for Americans, though. There's a whole slew of them. Botswana, Seychelles, and Mauritius together are all, and when I say visa free, I want to put this very clearly. You take your blue passport, boom, and the immigration people look at you and say, welcome on vacation, come on into the country. That's what they say. They're not stamping, they're not doing anything extra. Actually, they do stamp you, but you're not paying for the stamp. It's visa free, as in the visa is free for 30 to 60 to 90 to 180 days, okay? Now, that brings us to both Mauritius and Seychelles.
Yeah, meaning, I want to add to this because, you know, we get a lot of questions about, like, visa free, what does that mean? You don't have to go online, too. There's a lot of places where you have to go online to pay for the visa. Visa free means you don't. Like you can
on arrival.
Really show up. Of course, do your research because certain countries they do require you to fill out like a health form or something like that, just to make sure
Yep.
that you're not bringing anything into the country. Something like that. So just make sure you do your research, because that is something that people, of course, you get to the border, they will say, where's your form? You can look it up online, but it's better to be prepared. This is why, we have the State of the Diaspora. This is why we have,
the mature adult intensive.
Exactly. One-on-one calls, just in case, you want to have that extra step, So check the links in the description, because this is what we do. We really help our people, and they really appreciate it. We really appreciate them. They learn from us. We learn from them. So it's just a blessing to, just be on this journey. So this is why we are journeying with us.
Absolutely. Now let's move to Mauritius and Seychelles. I want to combine these two because historically they were actually unified, but post-independence they split off into two separate territories of Mauritius and Seychelles. Both have the best digital nomad visas that you can find in Africa. Now, South Africa and Kenya both have digital nomad visas, but they're not anywhere close to as popular as the premium visa in Mauritius and the workation remote visa in Seychelles. And when I say popular, I mean like hundreds, thousands of applicants that get processed and approved every single year. And this is a signal that tells you, oh, these systems work. This immigration system functions. You'll find some countries on the continent, immigration doesn't really function. It kind of just hits a brick wall and then goes through all of these other pathways that are very odd and trivial. But in places like Mauritius, Seychelles, Botswana, and the next country, Rwanda, which is the cleanest in Africa, Mauritius is actually the most stable and tied between Rwanda and Mauritius for the least corrupt and best to do business in. But these processes are so simple, they will blow your mind, because Rwanda actively fights corruption. Rwanda is one of those countries that's like a quiet hidden gem that people don't think about. But let me tell you, the wise people think about it. The Chinese folks come over there and think about it. The Indian folks, they're gonna come over and think about it. So you also need to come over there and think about it. European folks, come over there, get that consulting visa. And if you're like, I have no idea that all of these visas even exist, well, I wrote a 40-page guide that over 45 clients have gone through for the State of the Diaspora. So you can check it out at the link in the description by purchasing the replay of the 17th edition of the State of the Diaspora, okay? Check that link, grab it, and that's it. But Rwanda is one of those places that has many hills. It's a beautiful country. The visas are pretty cheap at $30, not like $100, not $130, not $200, a nice $30, which is very close to visa free for Americans, right? $30 isn't too bad. You're not going to be getting your budget too overboard. And this is key because Rwanda has a 5-year permit similar to Botswana, and then Mauritius has a 10-year permit. You won't find any other like that on the continent. You will find that on the Asian continent though. And then Seychelles also does a 5-year. So truly these countries should be your only logical options if you do not want your life to be very difficult and trying as you're traveling and moving throughout Africa, especially for the long term, because hello, it's World War III, Greenland is in the dark, the Venezuelan president just got captured, France just captured a Russian oil tanker. We are not doing the most in 2026. We are doing only stability and safety.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because, it's just heating up. Everything's heating up, y'all. But you got to choose the right country. You do not want to deal with certain things that, people go through. Like, that's a real thing here. And if you choose the right country, it's just going to be so much easier. It's just going to be a smooth sailing. And, this is why, we do these videos for you guys so you can really listen, with 2 ears, not it goes in one ear and out the other. You got to listen to 2 ears. You got to see with 2 eyes, because these things are starting to be very, very important. And if you don't think so, I'm not sure what to tell you.
Not sure what to say.
No, really, because it's serious. We do get some people that just don't get it. But we want everyone to get it, but we know that everybody's not going to get it. So, you know, we are here with the information to share with you guys, but it's up to you to act. You know, it's up to you to move. So, you know, all praises to the Most High. Is that pretty much it?
That is it. Check out the links in the description. We'll see you in the next video. Who knows what tomorrow or tonight holds, guys? Who knows what's going to happen with Greenland? But you know that we're going to cover it and talk about it on this channel. So we'll see you then. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, family.